Today, we're going to be talking about the redemptive gift of exhorter child. And if you're parenting an exhorter child, well, life is probably really fun. They are relational, encouraging, life giving. They love connecting with people, inspiring others, and bringing joy into every space. So, kudos to you because you have someone that you're parenting that is a joy to be around. But like all the gifts, their strengths can also create challenges in parenting if not surrendered to Christ. So today, we're going to talk about some of those strengths and some of those struggles and how you can parent them and partner with God for their design. So, one of the strengths of the exhorter child is that they are relational and joyful. They thrive in connection and bring life to family members. They are so happy and a joy to be around. They just kind of exude joy, very encouraging, which is why their name is Exhorter. And this is a joy to be around. They're also encouragers. They build others up with their word and their presence, whether that's a hug or a note or a kiss on the cheek. They are very encouraging. They are also visionary. They see possibilities and can inspire others to believe bigger. And this is also where exhorters bring joy because they're very uplifting and they encourage others to believe in themselves. Exhorters are also flexible and adaptable. They can adjust to people and environments very easily. And so they're not stiff necked or frustrating to engage with because they love people and they love to make people happy and bring joy. And so if you want to do one thing, then they're happy to do it with you. They're also bridge builders and they unite people, often easing tension in groups. And so if there is tension between two groups of people, having an exhorter there is going to help bridge that gap, bring in joy, bring in encouragement for each side so that they can build each other up in unity. So it's important for you as a parent to celebrate their ability to make others feel seen and valued, calling out how they reflect Christ's heart for people. But this also brings in the area of one of their biggest struggles is that they are people pleasers. Exhorters will compromise truth to keep relationships strong, no matter what. Even if they know it's wrong, they want to avoid the confrontation. So they're going to make sure that everybody is just happy and joyful, no matter if it's wrong. So this is an area that you need to watch out for, especially if you're parenting an exhorter child, because let's say they are at school with friends and they're going to be swayed from the truth that they know is right and true because they don't want to make their friends upset. And so that's an important struggle to identify and to help the exhorter child see from an early age so that they can understand that it's important that pleasing God is above pleasing people. Now, their biggest fear is the fear of rejection, and this will cause them to avoid hard conversations. So, exhorter children do not like to have those hard conversations. They will let everybody else walk all over them and they'll just saunter off to the side or get mad and retaliate some other way instead of addressing how they feel and acknowledging what the other person did to make them feel that way. And so it's important for you as the parent to create that safe space for your exhorter child to be able to express how they feel, even if it is a hard conversation, even if it makes people uncomfortable, and giving them that strength and courage to be able to express that. And understanding that fear of rejection is not something to be afraid of, because when our identity is in Christ, then we don't have to be afraid of rejection. So another struggle for the exhorter child is that they may skim over deeper issues to keep things light. They have a tendency to just engage at a surface level place so that people don't get uncomfortable or nobody feels upset or worried. They just want to keep it right here. And so that's not really good for intimacy. Intimacy is developed by getting in engagement in a little bit deeper. And so if your exhorter child struggles with that with people face to face, that's an indicator that exhorters will have trouble with that with God, that intimacy piece. And so it's really important for exhorters to learn how to connect with God on that intimate, deep level first before they kind of spread out to others, because this is where they're comfortable. They're very comfortable here, surface level engagement, making sure everybody's happy and comfortable and joyful. It is in those deep places of intimacy that they're going to be missing if they don't focus on their relationship with God. So it's important to foster that as the parent of an exhorter. It's important to grow that within your exhorter, that everything doesn't have to just be surface level. Another struggle that they may have is a scattered energy. Scattered energy. They can be easily distracted by opportunities and relationships. They're very happy to go here and here and here and here and not really get anything accomplished, not really have any deep relationships, just kind of be surface level with everyone because they're life with a party and they love people and people love them. And so it's easy to see that the exhorter really struggles to stay focused in one specific area. Time is really a struggle for exhorters. They'll usually be late or just totally lose track of time because they're wanting to do all the things instead of focusing their energy, focusing their time, focusing their efforts in one particular area. And so that's a great place of growth for the exhorter child as well. Another area that they struggle in is overcommitment. So just like I said, they're scattered all over the place. They will say yes too often because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and they're afraid of rejection. So they often leave little margin for rest. So this is important to teach and train your exhorter child about boundaries and that it is okay to tell people no, and it is not your responsibility how you make them feel. So, and that rest is super important. We're teaching and training them how to rest now, just like with the servant child, it is much easier for them to get those rhythms and routines ingrained in them now instead of later when they have life and kids and jobs and volunteer opportunities, everything, in the way. So teaching and training them how to rest, the importance of rest and that boundaries are okay, is going to be very important for your exhorter child. So teaching them to say no sometimes protects their yes for God's best. And again, this is the importance of the exhorter's relationship with the exhorter and the father and how they receive from the father so that they can give relationally out. So what does this mean for you as the parent? What are some things that you can do to help your exhorter child to make sure that you're not cursing their design, but blessing it? So first thing is to model confrontation in love. Show them how to speak truth with grace, because the exhorter child is so loved. They're so joyful. People are just naturally gravitating toward them. It is an area for them to develop because people will hear from them the best. If you have somebody that is mostly joyful all the time and encouraging, when they do have something to tell you about how you've hurt them or what you've done, you're going to be more receptive to hearing it. And so by teaching and training your exhorter child that they have a responsibility in giving out reality instead of like, oh, everything's perfectly fine, it's going to help them operate in their redemptive design much easier when they're older. Another thing you can do as the parent of a redemptive gift of exhorter is to root their identity in Christ. Remind them that acceptance comes from God, not man. And this is going to be super important because it is so easy for the exhorters to need and want that validation and acceptance from others and to greatly fear rejection. But if we understand that in our identity in Christ, we are accepted no matter what, that allows them to speak that truth with grace and love when it needs to happen, as well as to encourage others from that place of intimacy with God. Another place is by teaching them discernment. Help them learn when to engage socially and when to step back, when they are needed as the encourager, and when the people they're trying to encourage need to get their encouragement from God. And this is an important place for the exhorter to grow because they want to be the ones that are encouraging people. But sometimes people need that encouragement just from their father. And so by teaching and training your exhorter child how to discern when they are to give encouragement, when they are to bring truth, and when they're kind of to step back and just love people from a distance is going to be super helpful in growing and developing their design and how God made them. It's also super important for you to encourage quiet times. Help them balance their outgoing nature with space to hear God's voice. This is working on that intimacy with the Father thing as well, giving them that space, giving them that time, helping them to be intentional with their time management so that they know that having that one-on-one time with God is important above all else, because out of that flows the encouragement and the love for other people instead of doing it by their own power. So helping them create that daily quiet time routine or rhythm is going to be super important. And develop follow through. Hold them accountable to commitments and responsibilities because they're not very good at keeping commitments, managing their time, or work operating from that place of intentionality because they tend to be so scattered and overcommitted. And so helping them to say, okay, when you say that you're going to do this, this is how to do it. Will again grow their design and help them be more intentional with the way that God created them. So those are a couple of things that you can do to help your child with the redemptive gift of exhorter. If you found this helpful, this is from my parenting mini guide that's available on my website, ashleysilver.com. And it has things like what we talked about, which is the strengths, struggles, and how you can partner with your child. But then it also has things like strategies, activities, prayers, blessings, questions, that kind of thing to help you connect with your exhorter child. So if you're interested in that, it's on my website. Also have my Redemptive Gifts course available where we go through each of the redemptive gifts and learn about them, and also the parenting and serving strategies for each of the gifts. So if you're interested in that, check out my website, ashleytilford.com. So if you're interested in that, check out my website, ashleytilford.com, and check out the next video, which will be on the redemptive gift of giving.